Have you ever bought something while traveling and only later realized it wasn't what you thought it was? That mix of embarrassment and frustration can be unforgettable, and for language learners, these real moments make the best lessons. You learn vocabulary related to money, emotions, buying, and trust. And when it's told through a fun story, it sticks even better. Let's dive into one such experience, packed with real-world English. Daniel had always dreamed of seeing the Vatican. He wasn't a particularly religious person, but the art, the history, the sense of being at the center of something ancient, it all fascinated him. On his trip to Rome, he carved out an entire day to visit Vatican City. It was summer, and the streets around St. Peter's Basilica were buzzing with tourists, umbrellas for shade, and the sounds of many different languages blending into a busy hum. Daniel joined a long but fast-moving line and made his way into the Vatican museums. The Sistine Chapel took his breath away. He craned his neck for long minutes, just staring up at Michelangelo's ceiling. He even tried to sketch it badly in his travel notebook, just for fun. After hours of admiring ancient sculptures, priceless tapestries, and golden corridors, he emerged into the sunlight feeling fulfilled, inspired, and hungry. Before heading out, he wandered into a courtyard near the exit. It was lined with souvenir stands, all packed with religious icons, mini statues of the Pope, crosses, and postcard versions of famous paintings. One stall stood out to him. It was quieter, tucked into a corner, and had no flashy signs. There was an older man behind the table wearing a white linen shirt and a gentle smile. Displayed on the table were several prints of classic Vatican paintings. But one, in particular, caught Daniel's eye, a beautiful print of Raphael's School of Athens. The colors looked rich, the details clear. There was no price tag. That alone made it feel different. "You like?" the man asked with a light accent. "Yes, it's incredible." "Is it a print?" Daniel asked, wanting to be sure. The man shook his head slowly, almost offended. "No print. This is special. Real pigment on aged paper. It is not mass-produced. Limited piece. Artist in Rome makes only 10 per year." Daniel was caught. The paper did look old. The texture was rough, not glossy like cheap posters. The colors had an almost handmade look to them. He hesitated. "How much?" The man leaned in. "For you, my friend, only 100 euros. Daniel felt a small knot in his stomach. That was not cheap, but if it was authentic, maybe it was worth it. He imagined hanging it in his apartment, telling guests he bought it directly at the Vatican. The story would be worth more than the price. He nodded. "Okay." The man wrapped the painting carefully in brown paper, added a small certificate that looked like it had been printed on an old computer, and smiled as he handed it over. "Enjoy. And don't show it to everyone, eh?" Daniel left feeling proud. He had just bought his first real piece of art in one of the most iconic places in the world. Back at his hostel, he carefully unwrapped the package to show his roommate, a student from Argentina. The guy looked impressed at first, until he turned the painting over and squinted. "Wait. I saw this same thing in a shop near Termini Station. It was 15 euros. Daniel blinked. "No, this is hand-done. Limited," the man said. His roommate laughed kindly. "Man, it's printed. Look at this edge. You can see where the paper was trimmed by machine. And this aged paper? It's treated with tea or something. The knot in Daniel's stomach returned. This time, tighter. So it's fake? Not fake. Just not rare. Daniel wanted to be angry, but the truth was, he hadn't asked the right questions. He had trusted the atmosphere, the smile, the word limited, and let his excitement cloud his judgment. Still, he couldn't help but laugh. Guess I paid for the story, not the art. He didn't throw the painting away. He took it home, framed it, and hung it in his hallway. And whenever someone asked about it, he told them, "That's a €100 print I bought in the Vatican. It taught me how to say limited edition in Italian." From that one awkward purchase, Daniel picked up more than just a souvenir. He learned real vocabulary like print, authentic, mass-produced, handmade, and phrases like limited edition, how much, and for you, my friend. These are the kinds of expressions travelers hear and use everywhere. And because he lived the mistake, the word stuck with him. You just followed a real story packed with natural English, how to buy something, how to ask questions, how to be polite when you're unsure. You saw phrases like, is it a print, how much, you like, and enjoy, all everyday English, not textbook grammar drills. If you enjoyed the story and learned something new, hit that like button, subscribe to LingPath, and share your own tourist trap moment in the comments. The best stories are the ones we learn from. See you in the next one, where your mistakes become your best English teachers.